Andrew's doing this.
Trying
to do this. He is installing this absolutely beautiful
overkill.
Currently very overkill swell pot, but on the internet, and I know the internet's normally full of shit, but there's no smoke without fire, right? People say that when you get a bit too low, like when I say too low, I mean like less than half a tank, you can get fuel surge issues on this. The fuel tank's not very good for fuel surge. I don't want to ruin this engine. It's quite an expensive engine. I can sell that for good money before the K24 goes in.
More grip as well makes it worse.
Obviously, yeah, clearly all of those bits and pieces. Although we are going into winter now, so it's probably just going to rain consistently until springtime. However, we'll fit the swell tank, swell pot, as well as the fuel tank and a fuel pump in there, and then we're going to run a Turbo Smart fuel pressure regulator back here because it's a deadhead system on the AP. It's not an AP2, is it? But the whatever this is, AP1/2 bastard.
Yeah, only got one line going down the car.
Yeah, there's one line, so it's a deadhead at the top here. So run the fuel pressure regulator back here, which I will have to manually set at whatever the stock fuel pressure is. No idea what that is actually yet, but I shall. Can we measure that, like to get what it actually is, or are we going to use internet stuff?
Yeah, you can measure it.
Okay. Well, so we're going to measure what it does normally, and with all the voltage and everything, we'll turn the car and do it properly, and then we'll set the fuel pressure regulator to that, so that we're not changing. Theoretically, we're not changing anything. Because I don't think these need any more fuel pressure, or could do with any more fuel pressure going up there anyway. Because I think they run a touch rich anyway.
So just to add in there, before we get too far off topic and we forget about it.
Okay.
This is quite a big boy, 3 pump, although there's only 1 pump in there at the minute, surge tank, swell pot, whatever you want to call it. We've made a life a bit difficult because Radium do sell a S2000 specific setup, which mounted in here, I think it was. But you could only run 1 fuel pump in it, which would be fine for F20 engine.
But not when we put some alcohol in a K24.
So future-proofing is why that's going in. We've gone well overkill on it, but
have gone well overkill.
It'll be about normal fuel.
So unbelievably overkill. Not only with the fuel pumps, but with how you're going to mount it. Andrew's fancy.
Oh, it's just messing around with it.
Is this not the final rendition?
Oh, the left hand was, and then the right hand.
3D printed in multiple materials. So there's a plastic, a rubber, and a plastic. And this is carbon fiber infused ASA.
Yes, ASA, then a little TPU middle bit. It might not work, but.
To take some of the dampen it. The theory is to dampen it slightly. I mean, it is quite solid, so I'm not quite sure what that's going to do. However, it's always best to not shake the fuck out the fuel as much as possible, obviously. And then this is a little backing plate, which has nice little ridges and hold it in place. So I thought that was nice. And it'll be good to test, although it's quite a dangerous thing to test it on, how strong this actually is. I'm sure the
lines will hold it in place.
Oh, yeah. Worst case, the lines will hold it in place. I mean, this is a sturdy bit of kit. You're not going to break it by rolling it over, but yeah, you don't really want to be chucking your fuel tank around. Nice experiment, good to see.
So, got a little bit wrong on it. It isn't 2 pieces, it's 2 different parts. This is the one with a TPU in it, which is like a rubbery material if you don't know what that is. And this is just solid ASA, so the same top and bottom material on this one. Interestingly, I don't know if it'll come across well on camera, but if you drop this, just there, the rigidity of it makes it clatter quite a lot. Whereas if you do this one, even though it's got the hardware in it, it's much more dull. So hopefully, it will reduce the noise of the fuel pumps a little bit. Yeah, so that's the mounting plate. It's basically so you don't have to drill the holes in the chassis, and it's a bit easier to remove and take the pump mechanism out because it just bolts down to this. So just the 3 bolts are going to hold it down. Drilled me holes. Oh, dropped it. And then hopefully it will fit something like that. Perfect. Now just got to put the nuts on the bottom and then mount this up. And that's done. Just this is the old FPR from the S13. It's the last generation Turbo Smart one, but nothing wrong, works well. It's got dash 6 fittings all over it, and we just put a manual pressure readout gauge on it, so we know what pressure it is really, without having to wire it in. Like we said, this is going to have to be updated to a bigger one when we run down the front of the car. Okay.
Well, for some reason I'm telling you about this, even though Andrew's doing this bit of the job and he's been in charge of this bit of the job from the start.
Well, like
he's camera,
people like you more.
He's camera shy this morning. Right, so this is the AP2-ish fuel pump setup, which doesn't have a return back to the fuel tank. So we're swapping it for an older one, an AP1 fuel pump setup, because it has a return so that we can flow from the swirl pot back into the fuel tank as well. So that's literally it. And we've got some of these nice little adapters that go in on the fuel lines to turn them into dash lines, which is very nice. From Torx. Yep. That's really pretty much it. I mean, we're using a standard fuel pump just to fill the swirl pot up because we're just using standard pressures at the minute. So this is just to stop any fuel surge. Trying to counteract things before they happen.
So it seemed like a good idea to try and put the actual pump from the unit that came out of the car into this one, which is the older unit, which is going in the car, because the pump's newer, we know it works, we don't know if it works or not. So I'm trying to do that in a minute. This one's come out pretty easy. I'm going to try and get it out of this one. This is the newer unit, which is coming out of the car. It's a little bit different, seems to be about the same. I've removed this clip there, so this is loose in there. On the other unit, there was a rubber hose holding it on, but on this one, it's just plastic, so I don't know if it's actually going to transfer across, but I don't know, find out in a second. Yeah, so it's just come out. I assume this is just a rubber, it's quite hard doing this one-handed. Also a workbench to make this easier, but I'm not on one currently. No. Yeah, that looks like just put the hose onto that unit and then it'll be more or less the same. So I'm going to do that. Here we have it. Pump swapped, looks completely the same, probably functions exactly the same, and was of no benefit whatsoever. But it's done. Okay. Test fit, see if it drops in, but don't see why it won't, you never know. Oh. And yeah. I mean, that fits in like that quite well. The only issue, not really an issue, is these pipes do not face the right way, you just orientate it correctly. That sits on like that. Let's see if it will give me scope to rotate it. Be very helpful. Yeah, so it can go that way around. So I've come up with a solution with the hoses for that. It's basically because there's like a deeper part of the tank that the float sits in. It's really hard to even see, let alone show on a camera, so I just didn't do it. Okay, here we are. Got the unit installed back in here. Oh dear, we're zooming in. Zoom back, zoom back, zoom back. Yeah, unit's installed, got the lines on. So this line is the one that goes down the car, so that's coming off of the new pump, effectively. This one is the return, the overflow from the surge tank, which is what we didn't have this fitting on the original fuel pump hanger thingy. And then that one is from the lift pump in the tank to the top. Still a bit tight in there, but it'll do the job. So I've got to try and plumb up the other end of it now, which hopefully be a bit easier. Yeah, so we started doing this end, kind of in place the regulators there. Just put a little relay, and there's a fuse to go in there as well. And that wires round into the original pump to trigger the relay, and then that picks its power up from the battery over there. It's just a straightforward wiring job for this, really, because it's all going to get changed in the very near future. We'll run it off a power distribution module. Yeah, so we'll get these lines on and try and make it look a bit neater, really. And here we have the final setup. Like 3D print some little brackets, I think, to neaten out a bit more, but that's about it. So let's see if it blows fuel up every hose and fitting.
Well, you made the hoses, so
Exactly.
we'll find out.
Exactly.
What do you want me to do? Turn it on?
Yeah, let's do just turn the ignition on and off a bit. It's got to fill that pot anyway, haven't you? The pump works, that's good. Just keep doing it, I think we can fill the pot. That's probably enough. It's still fuel pressure.
How much?
Oh, like 1 bit bar.
Okay.
I don't think there's any. No fuel around here yet.
My God.
What?
There's no fuel coming out of it.
Well, not out of these bits, and not yet.
Anything out of here?
This seems dry. Yeah, I guess I need to adjust that regulator.
I need it running for that. So.
Get loose.
Well, it's probably about 3 bar anyway.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
I think it probably is about right.
Fire up.
Make sure my clutch isn't engaged. Leave it. Turn the handbrake on. I'll do this on.
But it's not immediately spraying the fuel, so that's a good sign. You can hear the pumps running, which is good. But, alas, not enough fuel pressure.
Yeah, but I don't think it does that at idle.
Why would revving it help?
Huh?
Why would revving it help?
Because you get more voltage, don't you? It's firing bar at 14.4 volts, which it probably ain't at.
That'd be alright. Try adjusting it. These Hamming fuels. Very hard one. 4 bar apparently. 4 bar it needs to be.
4?
Yeah.
I thought it was 3 bar.
I thought that too, but I just checked again and it said 4.
It's got a lot of fuel pressure.
It's not boosted though, is it? So it just stay the same all the time. 4 bar.
It hasn't started hurtling out black smoke out of the exhaust, so that's good. It's always a good sign.
I suppose you need to test the clutch.
I do need to test the clutch.
Probably empty all the junk out of the boot then.
Please clutch, be good.
You know what?
Please clutch, be good. really hits the bottom of this hard when they come up around.
You hear the tyre rubbing the arch. Did you do any adjustment on the front shocks?
To go up.
Well, I don't know, it looks very bouncy.
It's on. They're on full soft, so.
Maybe that's it, maybe it's linked.
Must be. There is a bit of a problem though.
What?
All of the lights are on. These aren't normally all on. So the VSA, the exclamation, and the brake thingy are all on, but they're not normally. They're normally only the engine management light is on.
Did you plug ABS and that back in when you took the hubs?
Yes. And it is ABS in, but the ABS is coming on. You have to
Clearing it or something. Code.
You have to plug it in and see.
But the ABS works?
It appears to. You can confirm this. Ow! Go away! Seems to work.
Yeah, I guess. They're quite grippy tyres though, aren't they?
But I can't control this. That's sort of turning on or off, which it did.
So we solved the VSA light by doing
filling the brake fluid up to the top. The reason we didn't fill it up to the top because last time I went on track, it jammed the back brakes on and ran the pads all the way down. And we think that's because the brake fluid expanded in the tank. So I thought we'll just put it like just above the minimum. That'll be all right. It wasn't all right. The Honda did not like that. So we put it back up to not quite the top, but near the top. I've got some RF650 we put in there. That should expand less anyway, obviously, because it's racing fluid and not whatever the fuck Euro car parts was. So that's good. So we only ever have the engine management light on. That's just because we took all the emission shit off of it. So that's fine. I've taken it around, and although I have jumped up and down the suspension a lot, it has settled. You could assume it was going to do that anyway. These aren't road legal tyres either, and now I need to go and take it for an alignment. So I'm going to put some road legal tyres back on, which will help with the scrubbing. It does still scrub on the front, and ever so slightly on the back. Not on the back, sorry. But I didn't go over any big bumps. Although I went over the speed bumps, it didn't scrub on there, which was quite good. Anyway, I think the suspension, sadly, needs to be raised yet again. Well, luckily it's only a 2-second job and I'm changing the wheels anyway. So let's do that. Put some road legal wheels on it and raise it up a smidge. And then I think it'll be okay. I'll still take those wets to the track because they don't scrub that much. And when I raise it up a bit, it should be okay. I think, I hope. And to be honest, if I have to raise it up just a couple of millimeters at the track, probably won't be the worst thing in the world anyway. Cool. Right, we're nearly ready to do the final cleaning, although it's going to get absolutely trashed on the trailer on the way up to Donnington. Tomorrow I'm going on a track day to test out all the things that we have done at this time. So to recap, what have we done? The main thing was fitting coilovers and the wheels. And then in order to fit the wheels, we obviously had to make the arches wider. So, I mean, she's got a lot more wheel. There's a lot more tyre on the ground now. So she should grip a lot better, which was my only real gripe I had with it last time I was on a track day is that I believe it needed more tyre on the ground. So we've achieved that. So we'll give that a go and see if it can go any better around the track. The only problem is we've gone up to 18-inch wheels and haven't changed any ratios of the diff ratio or anything, obviously, so it's going to feel a lot slower and acceleration wise, and probably because it's got so much grip and the same amount of power as last time, it'll feel slower anyway because cars that grip more feel slower. So but I imagine it'll still be good fun to drive, and then once we've got all these bits sorted out, then we can start looking at the more interesting things like putting bigger engines in, only slightly bigger but with turbos, all the fun stuff. Anyway, I will try and this time film some audio at the track if possible. It's going to be very cold as well tomorrow, so excuse me if I'm just like this the whole time, but yeah, we'll have fun. Okay, so we're at Castle Donnington, the Donnington Race track, and testing out all the modifications that you've just seen in this video, and I can confirm with all glee that it does seem to be pointing, it's going in the right direction. I have span once today, it's on camera, don't panic, you'll be able to see that in a second. I'm just trying to push the limits of my driving, which is far down the scale, and then the car a little bit further up the scale. But yeah, getting there, having a really good time. The tyres seem to be gripping well. It's quite cold today, although the sun is out. The track is actually a pretty good temperature now. I think it's only like 2 or 3 degrees, but the track is fairly grippy where there's not fluid on it from where people dropped it. But never mind. Yeah, the car is going, as far as I can tell at the minute, the car is going fantastically. I still would like a little bit more grip into it to compensate for my poor driving, but we're getting there, we're definitely getting there. So, anyway, we'll do some more laps and I'll come back to you if I break something or something like that. From Donnington with the S2000, had an absolutely fantastic day on Friday. It was cold but dry for the whole day, so it felt like it had 241 horsepower instead of 239 horsepower, which was, the 2 horsepower was definitely needed. That car handled absolutely perfectly. Right,
say it absolutely perfectly. A vast improvement on what it was before, obviously, because now it's got wide wheels and coilovers and everything. But we didn't mess anything up fitting those. Not that you would, but the car handled absolutely brilliantly. The only thing that really was lacking is power now. So I guess we would probably have to do something about that, I reckon.